Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger and my friends. Today we're talking about MultiVersus again, and it seems like we've been talking about MultiVersus quite a bit on the channel lately, and well, for good reason, because the game's basically a smash hit. And today's video is very much in line with that, because MultiVersus is such a smash hit. Its debut day in open beta has crushed every other fighting game combined, basically. And what I mean by that is very literal. We do have the PC numbers available through Steam. We can see who plays what, when, where. And here are the numbers as of last night for MultiVersus after entering day one of open beta. So at one point, they had 144,000 concurrent players. And that's a lot. Now, let's show you other fighting games in comparison just to show you how titanic this number truly is, and then we'll go into the ramifications of all of this. So once again, remember here, this is day one, open beta, MultiVersus, 144,000 concurrent players at its maximum. And this is not to say it won't be more as the beta goes on, word of mouth spreads, and all that kind of stuff, right? So now, let's look at Tekken 7. All-time peak for Tekken 7 concurrent players, 18,000. All-time peak concurrent players for Street Fighter V, 13,000. All-time peak concurrent players for Guilty Gear Strive, 30,000. All-time peak concurrent players for Mortal Kombat 11 on PC, 27,000. So these are four big fighting games, right? And, you know, I don't want to insult your math skills or nothing, but those numbers do not add up combined to 144,000. So basically what I'm trying to say is MultiVersus more popular than Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 7, Street Fighter V, and Mortal Kombat 11, on PC at the very least, combined? Yes, it is. Now, granted, these are only the PC numbers, right? Like you saw, Guilty Gear Strive had higher concurrent than Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 has sold millions upon millions and millions of copies. I'm not even sure if Strive has sold 1 million yet, even though I do know it is the highest selling Guilty Gear of all time. So some games are more popular on certain systems than others, to be sure. Mortal Kombat is almost exclusively, when you compare all the numbers, a console experience, and Guilty Gear definitely a lot more popular on PC. So some numbers skew there, sure, but then again, let's take into account how many platforms you can play MultiVersus on. These are just the Steam numbers, and it's an open beta on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series S and X, right? So you gotta at least bare minimum double or maybe triple those numbers when you include consoles. So MultiVersus is an absolute titan, is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, why exactly is this? Now, obviously enough, it's a platform fighter. People like the platform fighters. It's got some popular brands and characters behind it, but that can't be it by itself because, well, let's take another example of something very similar. How about Nick All-Star Brawl? Platform fighter, bunch of popular intellectual properties and characters in the game, and sure enough, not even 10K all-time peak, right? And if you look at people playing concurrently, like 28 people in a 24-hour peak, I feel really bad for them because MultiVersus basically ate their lunch on every possible aspect. So it's not just it's a platform fighter, it's not just the brands. The thing is, and this is a drum I've been beating on for a while, the thing is, it's free to play. Free to play is absolutely the secret sauce here, showing this massive turnout. Because everyone can play it. Yes, it is open beta, but, you know, it's free to play open beta, so anyone can play it anyways, right? Let's look at Brawlhalla. A couple months ago, I made a video specifically showcasing Brawlhalla and the power of free to play in fighting games, because Brawlhalla also is beating all modern fighting games as well. Brawlhalla here, whilst all-time peak is not as high as MultiVersus, to be sure, it still maintains years and years and years into its lifespan a very high concurrent amount of players here, over 20,000. The other fighting games, I just posted the pictures there, you know, a minute ago in the video. You can rewind if you want. Their 24-hour concurrence for now is in, 2, 3, 4,000 range. So Brawlhalla is wiping the floor with things like Tekken 7 and Street Fighter. And basically it just showcases the power, once again, of free-to-play. That years later, the barrier is non-existent, so you can just pop in and play. You don't gotta buy, you don't gotta wait for the sale or whatever. You can just go and get the game. And I think the wild success of MultiVersus is showing free-to-play once again. This is the way things should go. The biggest things about fighting games is we want big player bases. You don't want to run into the same 3 or 4 people all the time when you're just queued up for ranked or something, right? And free to play is how you build a big player base and how you just get more people into fighting games in general. I know some people are worried about like, oh, well, this, that, and the other, about how predatory microtransactions can be in any given free-to-play game. And for MultiVersus, I can very plainly tell you it's not there. Like, there's no big deal. Yes, you got to buy costumes. The only way to get a costume is to spend money. That's fine. Cosmetics as paid, DLC, that's okay to me. Some people are like, well, I hate paying to learn to lab the matchup. Well, turns out MultiVersus is actually the best fighting game of all time in that regard. Like, as you can see here in my collection, I have a bunch of locked characters. I don't have everyone unlocked. Let's use an example here of Harley Quinn. Despite the fact I don't have Harley or half these characters unlocked, I sure can go into training mode and pick that character. Hell, I can pick any costume. I don't have to have the costume unlocked either. I can pick any perks I don't have unlocked. I can pick anything I don't have unlocked, regardless if I put money into the game or not, and then have it. So if I don't want to pay money for Harley Quinn, but I still want to practice Harley Quinn combos, MultiVersus will let you do exactly that. Say there's a character you want to practice in a full price release fighting game, right? But that character just happens to be not base roster. Will you be able to get to play that character in training mode? Nope. You better pony up full price, right? So when it comes to, predatory decisions, microtransactions, this, that, and the other, it's not if a game's free to play or, full price out of the gate or not. That's not the discerning factor here. The fact that you can play the entire roster for free in training mode in MultiVersus is proof enough of that. Because other fighting games, sure as crap, don't let you play their characters if they're DLC, right? You better buy them first before you can try them out in training mode. In the end, I guess the purpose of the video is twofold. One, just to show you, hey, MultiVersus is doing very big numbers. That's really cool. And not, in fact, is it just big numbers. It's the biggest numbers, at least on PC. That is really neat, and I'm happy to see a new fighting game kind of break ground that way. And I hope things like Street Fighter 6, Project L in the future can also break very big numbers. And also, once again, I've said this before in other videos. I'll probably link the Brawlhalla video as an example at the end of this video. I think free-to-play is the future of fighting games. I want as many people as possible to play fighting games. I want things to be back like the 90s when I was a kid, when fighting games were the biggest games in the world, right? And how you do that is free-to-play. And as shown here, just by like how they do things in this game, just because it's free-to-play doesn't mean it has to be like predatory. It's going to steal all your money. Like, the training mode stuff is incredibly generous. It's more generous than any paid fighting game currently on the market. Free-to-play is not an inherently bad thing, and as far as I'm concerned, it's mostly upsides. And you're going to see more of it because Project L almost certainly is going to be free-to-play as well. Street Fighter 6, almost certainly not, but who knows? Things can change in the future as well. Just, they could put out a free-to-play model a couple years down the road. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so MultiVersus is doing great, and I think free-to-play is a pretty good thing for the genre. So if you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. And otherwise, well, hey, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And since it's free to play, why not try it and go out and play some MultiVersus?